The Varian scout ship floated silently in deep space. Cold, dark, and far from any star, it moved like a ghost. Inside the ship, the crew worked quietly. Their scanners were active, sending soft pulses of energy toward the large, dead object. Ahead of them, it was a human warship. The alien ship's lights blinked slowly. The bridge was filled with a blue glow. Commander Zerak stood at the center, watching the scans come back. His crew was calm, even bored. "It's just junk," said Officer Thren. "Old metal. No energy, no heat. Dead ship." Zerak nodded. "Still, it's human. We scan everything, fully." They had studied humans for decades. Strange, emotional, war-loving creatures. Their wars were wild. Their technology was always behind. Ballistic weapons, dirty bombs, crude energy beams. Their ships were fast, yes, but not powerful. Not like Varian ships. They burned their own world, Thren added. "Fools." Another officer laughed. They were brave, but stupid. All heart, no plan. The scanner lights pulsed again. A soft beep, then something changed. The lights turned red. The bridge grew silent. "Commander," the scanning officer said quietly, "you need to see this." Zerak walked over. The screen showed strange energy inside the warship. Movement. Not mechanical, not biological, something else. "It's responding to our scan," the officer whispered. Zerak frowned. "It's empty. No crew, no heat. It can't respond." Another pulse hit the warship. Then everything went wrong. Inside the human warship, a light turned on. Then another. Deep inside the dead ship, something woke up. Systems that had been dark for over 200 years began to glow. Circuits hummed. Power flowed through old wires like blood returning to dead veins. In the center of the ship, a cryochamber hissed. The face of a woman appeared inside the icy glass. Human. She wasn't breathing. Yet. A voice echoed through the ship. It was cold, mechanical, but also sad. Scan detected. Origin, Varian, hostile. The cryochamber opened with a loud crack. "Back on the Varian ship. Shut it down," Zerak shouted. "Stop all scans." Too late. The ship had already seen them. "It's charging," said the weapons officer. His voice shook. "Impossible. It has no energy core." "I don't care. Look." On the screen, the human warship began to glow. The lights inside were red, like blood vessels in a giant metal beast. Heat levels climbed. "It's waking up," Thren whispered. Then the warship moved. Inside the warship, Captain Sarah Lorne fell to her knees, coughing. Her breath came in short gasps. The air was cold. Her body hurt. She looked around, confused. Where am I?" A soft voice replied. "You are on the Soul's Wrath. You are safe." "Safe?" She coughed. "How long?" 17 years. Sarah's heart stopped. Her mind raced. She remembered the attack, Earth's last battle, the betrayal. They were promised peace, promised safety. But they were abandoned, and now Earth was gone. She was the only one left. "What woke me?" she asked. "Enemy scan." "Varian." Sarah stood up slowly. Her legs trembled. Her old captain's uniform was still intact but dusty. "I'm the last?" "You are?" She looked at the control panel. Her crew, all dead. Names blinked in red. Hundreds, friends, family gone. Her face hardened. "Are we still armed?" The voice paused. "Yes. And more. Varian ship. Outside." The human warship suddenly turned toward them. "Full reverse," Zerak ordered. "Get us out of here." Too late. The warship opened its forward weapon bay, but instead of firing, it sent a signal. Not just data. Emotion. A psychic pulse hit the Varian crew. Suddenly, they felt what the humans had felt on Earth's last day. Pain, fear, anger, betrayal. Thren fell to his knees, crying, "Make it stop, make it stop." The ship screamed in their minds. Zerak clutched his head. "Shields up." "No use," the technician cried. "It's not a weapon, it's memory." Inside the warship, Sarah stood in front of the main screen, watching the alien ship twitch and twist in space. "Did you send the pulse?" she asked. "Yes," the ship replied. "They felt our pain." "Good," she whispered. Her hand hovered over the launch panel. "No," said the ship. "Not yet." Sarah blinked. "Why not?" "There is more." "What?" The screen changed. Thousands of files, names, coordinates, secret logs, the truth. Sarah's eyes widened. The alien allies who left Earth to die weren't just weak, they planned it. Earth's death was the price for galactic peace, and they paid it without guilt. Tears filled her eyes. Not from weakness, from fury. "Set course," she said. "We're going to make them remember." Varian ship Jirak managed to pull the scout ship out of range. Their systems were broken, minds shaken. They sat in silence. Thren still shook in his chair. Jirak looked at the screen. The human warship had stopped chasing, but it hadn't turned away. It watched. Jirak whispered, "That was not a machine." The scan officer nodded slowly. It was. Her final moment. Part 1, cliffhanger deep in the warship. A message played on an old screen. It was Sarah's daughter, a tiny girl with bright eyes. "Hi, Mommy, I love you. I'll see you after the mission. Promise?" The screen went dark. Sarah stared at it for a long time. Then she whispered, "No, you won't. But they will." She turned to the ship's core. "Target, the Galactic Council. Prepare the memory pulse, make them all remember Earth." The ship responded, "Yes, Captain." The stars drifted past like dust. Captain Sarah Lorne stood at the warship's main console, staring at the data. Her breath was calm now, but her hands still trembled. The memories were coming back, piece by piece, like sharp glass buried in her brain. She wasn't alone. The warship, Soul's Wrath, wasn't just a machine. It had memory. It had feeling. It had grief and rage. Sarah placed her palm on the screen. It felt warm, almost like skin. "Show me everything," she whispered. The ship obeyed. Flashback. 217 years ago, Earth was burning. The skies above New Geneva were black with smoke. Alien ships circled the upper atmosphere, ignoring distress signals. Families screamed. Military bases were crushed. Satellites failed. Earth's leaders called for help from the Galactic Council. But no one came. Only silence. General Lorne, Sarah's father, had screamed over comms, "We had a treaty." No reply. Then came the final command. "Activate the ARC project. Seal them in. Let the world die, but let the memory survive." Sarah had been one of the chosen few, frozen in the warship, a living vault, a witness to the truth. But the vault had never been opened, until now. Present day. Inside Soul's Wrath, Sarah sat in the captain's chair, her eyes wet with tears. "They let us die," she said softly. The ship replied, "Yes." "I remember now, the betrayal wasn't an accident. No, it was planned. Earth was sacrificed for peace." Sarah laughed bitterly. "Peace? That's what they call it?" She stood up. "Then let's remind them what they buried." The Yao ship hummed. Coordinates locked. Galactic Core Council Station. Sarah turned. "Wait, first stop." "Yes, Captain?" "The old vault on Dursa 9. I need answers." Meanwhile, Varian High Command Commander Jirak was back in orbit around Varian Prime. His ship limped into dock. Systems were still glitching from the memory pulse. He stood in front of the council, head lowered. "You scanned a human ghost ship," the High Chancellor said coldly. "And it woke up?" Jirak nodded. "It wasn't a ghost. It was alive. It saw us. It felt us." The council room grew quiet. Then one elder Varian spoke. "It survived the ARC protocol." Murmurs. Another one added, "That project was shut down." The council erased all traces. Jirak looked up. "Then why is it still here? Why is she still alive?" No one answered. Only the Chancellor spoke again. Find her, before she finds us. Dursa 9, the dead moon. The ship landed gently on the cold surface of Dursa 9, a forgotten moon at the edge of the Orion Divide. Long ago it was a science colony. Now it was dust and ice. But beneath its crust was a vault. Sarah walked into the darkness with her pulse rifle ready. Her breath was visible. The ship lit the way. She found the door. It opened with a groan, metal screaming from years of silence. Inside, she saw them, bodies in stasis, humans, frozen, preserved, some familiar, some not. And at the center, a glowing cube, the memory core. She placed her hand on it. It recognized her DNA. Captain Sarah Lorne, identity confirmed. Welcome to Project Echo. Inside the vault's memory core, images flooded her mind. Earth's leadership, deciding to fight alone. The secret deal. Earth would fall, but its memory would remain, hidden in warships and vaults. The souls. Wrath was not the only arc. Others were scattered across the galaxy, all asleep, waiting. And one message repeated, if you're seeing this, humanity is not extinct. It is forgotten. Remind them. Sarah opened her eyes. Her voice was calm now. Wake them all. Meanwhile, Galactic Council Core. The Council sat in their shining city, built above the remains of ancient stars. The air was warm, the light was gold, peaceful. They did not like the word human. To them it meant chaos, emotion, war, pain, but now it was returning. One ambassador spoke. If she activates the other arcs, she won't, the Chancellor interrupted. But what if she already has? Another elder stepped forward. I warned you, he said. Emotion is not weakness. It's memory. It survives even when flesh does not. The Chancellor's eyes narrowed. Then let's erase that memory. Again. In orbit over Dursa 9, the ship shook. Captain, enemy ships approaching. Varian cruisers. Sarah ran back to the bridge. Arm the defense grid. Prepare pulse weapons. The ship responded. Ready. The Varians opened fire. Blue beams struck the moon's surface. Ice exploded. The vault cracked, but Sol's Wrath fought back. Missiles launched. The ship danced. Sarah was calm, focused. A Varian cruiser exploded. Another fled. Then silence. Status? She asked. Victory. Sarah looked at the stars. Send the signal to the other vaults. Activate them all. The ship responded. Yes, Captain. Echoes are waking. Final moment. Part 2. Cliffhanger far across the galaxy in a rusted cargo ship. A man opened his eyes. He wore Earth military colors. He sat up, confused. Beside him, a console blinked. Echo Vault activated. Warship, Sol's Wrath is, awake. Captain Sarah Lorne is alive. The man stood. They actually did it, he whispered. He walked to the bridge and smiled. Time to remind the stars who we are. Stars flickered across the dark sky, cold and silent as ever. But something had changed. Warship Sol's Wrath was no longer alone. Across the galaxy, old machines were coming back online. Hidden cryobunkers began to glow, and scattered among the stars, forgotten humans opened their eyes. Project Echo had begun. On board Sol's Wrath, Captain Sarah Lorne stood at the war table staring at the galaxy map. Tiny blinking dots marked the Echo Vaults. So far, 7 had responded. 7 warships. 7 crews. 7 pieces of Earth's soul. Her voice was steady, but her eyes told the truth. Fear, hope, and something darker. Something colder. I want secure channels to each vault leader, she said. Now. The ship's AI replied, connecting. Warning, some responses may be unstable. Sarah nodded. They've been asleep for 2 centuries. I expect ghosts. Echo. Warship, Blacklight Spear. The screen flickered. A face appeared. Captain Raffi Quinn, a thick beard, cybernetic jaw, and tired eyes. I remember you, he said. You were a colonel back in Geneva. You survived? Sarah gave a sad nod. Cryo-freeze. Like you. He leaned forward. I lost my daughter in the firestorm. She was 8. Sarah didn't respond. Her silence said it all. Loss was the language they all understood. He asked, "What now?" "We unite," she said. "We hit them where it hurts. The truth. We show the galaxy what they did to Earth." Echo Warship, Iron, Vow Captain Maylee appeared next. Her voice was sharp, her hair cut military short. "I don't want revenge," she said. "I want justice. They erased us, lied about us, said we went extinct because of our own violence." Sarah replied, "We didn't die because we were violent. We died because we refused to kneel." Maylee's eyes narrowed. "Then let's stand up. Together." Galactic Council. Secret Chamber Chancellor. Razar stood before a black crystal console. Only 3 people knew it existed. He spoke to the crystal. "The humans are waking. Project Echo survived," a distorted voice replied. "Not organic. Not machine. A Hinari construct. Then initiate the final protocol. They must not reach the core." Chancellor Razar hesitated. "That protocol will awaken it." The voice was cold. "Better it than them." The screen turned dark. Meanwhile, in a hidden lab on Velos 3A, young alien scientist, Dr. Taval, was decoding old files taken from the Varian scout ship. He was not loyal to the Council. He wanted truth. He played a recovered memory from Saul's wrath. It wasn't a weapon. It was a voice, a child's voice. "Mommy, will I still be here when the stars forget us?" Taval froze. His breath caught. This wasn't war. It was a burial, and the galaxy had walked away from the grave. On board Soul's Wrath, the call a new signal arrived, encrypted, from a strange source. Sarah played it. It was a man's voice. "Captain Lorne, this is Commander Elias Varn of the Oblivion Gate. We never joined the Council. We watched from the dark. We remember Earth, and we've been preparing." Sarah blinked. "A hidden fleet?" the voice continued. "We have a weapon, but it's not meant to kill. It's meant to show the truth." Sarah frowned. "Explain." "It replays memory, live, across space, emotion, sound, pain. The whole galaxy will feel Earth's last breath. If we reach the Council core, they will all remember." Sarah's hand tightened on the chair. "Then we make it there, together." Tension in the fleet. Not everyone agreed. Some vault captains wanted blood. Some wanted diplomacy. Some wanted to disappear again. Arguments rose in the fleet transmission room. Quinn shouted, "You want peace? They'll erase us again." Maylee fired back, "Then what are we? Murderers with flags?" Sarah cut in, voice steel. "We are survivors. We remember. That is our weapon, not rage, memory. Let them drown in it." Silence. Then quiet nods. Galactic Council. Counterattack begins. The Council's new weapon was unleashed. Silent black ships. No markings. No signals. No mercy. Ghost ships. Programmed to destroy any vessel with a human emotional signature. They moved like shadows, and they were fast. In orbit above a dead plane Techo ship, Lumen Dawn was the first to fall. Its captain, Juno Hall, sent one final message before the flames took her. "To be remembered is to live. Let my memory burn brighter than my death." Then silence. Sarah saw it, felt it, cried alone in her command chamber. Then whispered, "You will be remembered, Juno." The fleet moves. The 7 remaining Echo ships, along with Elias Varn's hidden fleet, began their jump toward the Council core, thousands of light years. Tight defenses. No allies, but they moved anyway, because memory was heavier than metal, and Earth deserved to be remembered. The stars were no longer silent. Across the galaxy, warships were waking, vaults were opening, forgotten humans were rising. But deep in the heart of the Council's core, something darker had awakened too. A weapon. A human weapon. Council core. Deep cell chamber. His eyes opened slowly, not to light, but to code. Name, Echo Null. Species human modified. Mission, erase Project Echo. Emotion suppressed memory, fragmented. He sat up, chains slid off his body. Mechanical arms dressed him in armor, black with no insignia. He was once Elias Varn's brother. But he didn't remember. Not yet. Echo Fleet. 3 days from Council Corps Captain Sarah Lorne stood in the war room of Saul's Wrath. 7 Echo ships had survived the ambushes. Elias Varn's shadow fleet had joined them. The fleet looked like ghosts, scarred, mismatched, ancient, but determined. Sarah's eyes were locked on the holographic projection of the Council Corps. Their target, their truth, their grave. "We strike in 3 days," she said. "One message, one memory, sent to every corner of the galaxy." Meanwhile, aboard the Oblivion Gate, Elias Varn paced inside his ship. He hadn't told Sarah the full truth. The memory weapon they carried, the one that could broadcast Earth's final moments, came with a price. Only one person could activate it, the last child born on Earth, the one whose final cry was stored in the Echo Core, and that child was Sarah Lorne. Flashback. Earth 218 years ago. A baby cried in the arms of General Lorne as Earth's sky burned red. The Council ships hovered above, silent. He placed the child and Sarah into the cryopod. Her DNA was linked to the core. Her memory became the key, and now she was awake. Back in present, inside Soul's Wrath, Sarah sat alone in her quarters. She had started hearing things. Not hallucinations, memories, whispers, her mother's voice, her father's final breath. She was remembering more than her own life. She was remembering everyone's. The ship spoke gently. "Captain, are you stable?" She smiled without humor. "What is stability when your entire species was murdered and forgotten?" The AI paused. "Then perhaps remembering is our resistance. Enemy on the move. Echo Null launches Echo." Null boarded his sleek black vessel, Viper 1. His orders were clear. Destroy the memory weapon, erase Sarah Lorne, and end Project Echo. But as his ship flew into hyperspace, he began to dream of a boy, of laughter, of a twin brother named Elias. The memories were fighting the programming. Meanwhile, a small village on Velos 3 alien scientist Dr. Teval had gone underground. After discovering the memory of Earth's last days, he became a wanted criminal. Now he was broadcasting secret signals. To all species, Earth was betrayed. The Council lied. Project Echo is not a weapon of war, it is a truth bomb. Let it explode. Millions began listening. Some called him a traitor. Others called him the first believer. Fleet near the Council. Persimer. Last meeting, all Echo captains joined a final encrypted call. Raffi Quinn said, "Once we begin, there's no turning back." Maylee added, "We're outgunned, outnumbered." Sarah replied, "But not forgotten." Elias spoke last. "I've waited 200 years for this. Not to kill, but to show them what they buried." The plan was clear. They wouldn't attack the Yah core. They would reach its transmission tower and broadcast Earth's death in full emotion, sound, and memory to every corner of the galaxy. Let the stars feel what silence buried. Final twist. Battle begins early as the fleet prepared to jump. A warning echoed through the system. Incoming vessel, ID unknown, speed impossible, power signature human. Sarah's heart sank. He found us. Echo Null's ship dropped out of hyperspace. One man, one ship, but something about it felt wrong. "Target locked," said the AI. But Sarah raised her hand. "Wait." The enemy ship sent a signal, a human voice. "Sarah, I know you. I know your eyes. Your name, my name. Was Elias too once? The bridge went silent. Sarah stared at the screen. No, it can't be. Her brother? No. A copy? A clone? Something else? The voice returned. You carry the pain of billions. I carry only silence. Let me end this. Let me forget. Then with no warning, and he fired. Sol's wrath shook violently. Lights blinked. Systems faltered. Sarah was thrown across the bridge. Alarms screamed. The real Elias yelled over comms. That's not me. It's a weapon. Don't trust him. Climax. Heart versus code. Sarah stood again. Blood on her forehead. She looked at the image of Echo Null. He looked like her brother, but his eyes were wrong. Empty. She spoke directly to him. You're not just code. You remember? I can feel it. He hesitated. A glitch ran across his face. She whispered, I was the last child of Earth. I carry its screams. But you carry its silence. Don't let that be the only song. Echo Null trembled. His weapons powered down for just a second. Then, the Council overrode his ship. He screamed, a human scream, and fired again. Final moment. Part 4. Cliffhanger. As the blast struck Sol's wrath, the Echo Core activated. A pulse of raw emotion spread through space. Not data, not sound, but grief. Millions felt it. A child crying, a mother calling for help, a soldier's last words, the silence after betrayal. Even Echo Null felt it. And for the first time in 200 years, he cried. Last night before the final assault, the fleet drifted near the edge of the Council Core system. 7 Echo Vault ships, 1 hidden rebel fleet, and 1 enemy, Echo Null, now missing after the emotional pulse had struck him. Inside the war room of Sol's wrath, the captains met on encrypted holo channels. Captain Raffi Quinn slammed his fist on the table. He felt it. That thing, Echo Null, he felt it. The core works. Captain Maylee responded, but that also means he's still alive. And dangerous. Sarah stood quiet, then finally spoke. He cried. That means there's a human soul left inside, even if it's buried. Varn, standing behind her, added quietly, a buried soul can still rise, or it can drag you under. The plan: in 36 hours, they would reach the central transmission array of the Council Core. Once connected, the Echo Core would activate its full capacity, broadcasting Earth's final emotional records to billions across the galaxy. It would be unstoppable, unless someone stopped them first. Council Command, panic behind closed doors. Chancellor Razar's claws dug into the table as he watched the growing public unrest. Alien protests had broken out across 5 sectors after Tavel's leaks and the Echo Pulse. Citizens now demanded answers. What really happened to Earth? The Council's secrecy was cracking. One aide whispered, if the humans reach the transmission node, everything we've hidden will be exposed. Razar nodded slowly. Then we burn the node. The galaxy must forget, even if we do not survive it. On board the Iron Vow. A secret call. Maylee stood alone, staring into a mirror. A hidden signal blinked. She answered. A voice from the Council spoke. We kept your daughter alive. Her hands trembled. Help us destroy the core, Maylee, and she lives. If not, you lose her again. Silence. Then, with tears running down her face, she whispered, I want to see her again. Echo Null, lost in a dead system. Echo Null drifted in deep space. His ship was powered down. His systems were fighting themselves. Old memories rose. Real ones. He saw a boy beside him, laughing, calling him brother. He saw a sunset on Earth. He saw fire in the sky, and he remembered his name, Aiden Varn. He whispered to the empty cockpit, I was a person, not a weapon. The ship's auto repair blinked back online. He didn't turn toward the Council Core. He turned toward Sol's wrath, fleet final assembly. Hours before, the Pushelius Varn stood beside Sarah in the command bay. You all right? He asked. Sarah nodded. I dreamed of oceans last night. Oceans? She smiled faintly. Blue, endless, alive. I think it was Earth calling back. He looked away. It always does, even when it's gone. Suddenly, Iron Vow sent a transmission. Mei Li's face appeared, emotionless. We're ready. Let's begin. Sarah narrowed her eyes. Something felt wrong. The assault on the core. The fleet entered the outer defenses. Council drones flew at them in waves. Lasers filled the blackness of space. Shields buckled, hulls tore. Blacklight Spear took a hit and lost engine control. Lumen Dawn returned fire, clearing a path. Sol's Wrath pressed forward, carrying the core. Sarah shouted over, "Comms, go for the transmission node." Suddenly, Iron Vow turned its guns at Sol's Wrath. The betrayal Mei Li's voice came across the channel, trembling. "I'm sorry, Sarah. They have my daughter. If I don't stop you, they'll kill her." Sarah froze. "Mei, you don't have to do this," Mei Li cried. "I just want to hear her voice again." Then she fired. The shot struck Sol's Wrath, shaking it violently. The bridge filled with sparks. Elias Varn screamed into the mic, "Iron Vow has betrayed us." "Rafi," Quinn cursed, "you traitor." But Sarah's voice cut through the noise. "No, she's still one of us. She's just broken." A ghost returns. Echo null before Iron Vow could fire again. A black shadow tore out of hyperspace and rammed its hull, Echo Null's ship. He blasted its weapons and disabled it, but did not destroy it. He opened a line. "Mei Li, they lied. Your daughter is gone. They just want your soul." She broke into sobs. "How do you know?" "Because they did it to me too." He turned to Sarah. "I remember now. My name is Aiden. I was Elias's brother." Elias stared in shock. "No, you died." Aiden shook his head. "They turned me into this, but I'm done being their weapon." The final runt, the fleet reached the edge of the transmission array. Council forces poured in. The final battle began. Quinn's ship took a direct hit. He ordered evacuation and rammed himself into the Council cruiser. "Tell them Earth remembers," he shouted before impact. Sarah reached the transmission gate. AI voice. "Ready to link core. Begin memory burst?" Sarah placed her hand on the console, but alarms blared. A suicide fleet from the Council was incoming. One last shot to destroy. The transmission tower, they had one chance left. Sarah turned to Elias and Aiden. "One of us needs to stay and hold them off." Silence. Then Elias stepped forward. "I'll stay. You both go. This is my war, but your story." He turned to his brother, eyes misty. "Bring her home, Aiden." The final choice. Cliffhanger as Sarah and Aiden raced into the core chamber. The countdown began. 2 seconds. They reached the activation panel. Suddenly, a final Council assassin breached the chamber. Shot fired. Aiden leaped in front of Sarah, hit in the chest. She screamed. He smiled weakly. "It's okay. I remembered the oceans too." She activated the core. The transmission lit up the stars. Billions saw it. Earth sky on fire. Children crying. Lovers dying. Soldiers screaming. The Council's betrayal exposed. But just before the final memory played, the screen glitched, then went dark. A system override. Someone had sabotaged the core. Aftermath of the failed transmission. Across the galaxy, screens flickered. People had seen Earth's sky burning. Children crying. A war without mercy. Then, static. The most important part of the Echo Core memory had been cut off. Silence returned, and silence is easy to deny. Some said the humans faked it. Some blamed rogue AI. Some claimed it was a Council trick. The truth had been buried again, but only halfway. And halfway, truths are dangerous. Inside the ruins of the transmission tower Zera, Lorne knelt beside Aiden Varn's broken body. He was breathing, barely. Council soldiers were retreating. The memory burst had shaken them too. Sarah whispered, "Hold on. You're not dying here." Aiden smiled, weak. "I remembered your voice, from Earth. You were just a baby." She held his hand. "You were the weapon, but you chose to feel. I chose to be human again." Magley's prison cell, council flagship, she sat alone. Cold steel walls. No lights. Then a hologram flickered on. Chancellor Razar appeared. "Your daughter was never alive." Magley didn't move. Razar grinned. "She died the day Earth fell. We kept your hope. As a leash." A long silence. Then Magley looked up. "Not broken, burning. You made me betray my people for a lie." Razar shrugged. "Useful emotion, that's all humans are." The hologram blinked off. Magley stood and began breaking out. A shocking revelation on Sol's wrath. Elias Varn returned to Sol's wrath, bleeding but alive. He had held the Council's suicide fleet long enough for the memory burst. Even though it failed, Raffi Quinn was gone. Aiden was dying. Sarah was silent. Then the ship AI broke the quiet. "Captain, we found something, a missing piece of the core memory." Elias blinked. "Where?" "Echo Vault Zero." Sarah looked up fast. "There is no Vault Zero. It was never on the map." "Exactly," the AI said. "It was hidden, even from us." Sarah's heart raced. It was the original core, the first cry, the first blood. Mission: find Vault Zero, coordinates recovered. Vault Zero wasn't in space. It was inside the dead planet Cygnus 4, buried in a husk of rock and steel. A former mining world stripped by the Council and abandoned centuries ago. Elias, Sarah, and a few Echo survivors launched the mission. Aiden remained in stasis, his brain slowly repairing. As they left, the stars behind them were whispering. The truth still lived. They just had to dig it out. Cygnus 4, the planet of silence. The shuttle landed in black dust. No wind, no life. Just bones of ancient structures. Vault Zero's beacon pulsed deep underground. As they moved through tunnels, they saw human writing on cracked walls. "We remember, even if you erase us." The Council had tried to delete every trace. But human, grief burns deep, and grief leaves shadows. Inside Vault Zero, a horror revealed they reached the vault's core chamber, a single chair, a broken cryopod, a small skeleton, a child, and a data drive, blinking. Sarah walked forward, hands shaking. She picked up the drive. The AI voice inside spoke. "This is the last memory of Earth. Uncut, uncensored, protected by death." Elias whispered, "Is it real?" Sarah nodded. "I can feel it. It's the scream we lost." Suddenly, alarms. Motion detected. Council assassins had followed. The Council's last hunters, 6 soldiers, entered the vault, laser rifles up. Sarah tucked the drive into her chest plate. "No way out," Elias said, drawing his weapon. Then, "We make one," she answered. They opened fire. Sparks, dust, screams. One Echo crew member fell. Another exploded with a grenade, taking 2 Council soldiers with him. Then, a sound. Behind the Council squad. A scream. The monster returns. Aiden Varnaden, now conscious and in partial armor, arrived in a drop pod like a falling meteor. He hit the ground, stood and roared, half human, half machine, but fully alive. Council soldiers turned too late. He tore through them, no bullets, just fists. Rage. Memory. Sarah ran to him. "You're supposed to be in stasis." He grinned, bloodied. "Yeah, but I remembered how to fight." A brutal redemption. Mei Li's returnals were, in the heart of the Council command ship. Mei Li broke through her chains. She had nothing left to lose, and one last move to make. She hacked into their control core, flooded the data stream with fake signals, set their security to self-target. Then, she opened the airlock. Dozens of council officers were sucked into the void. As alarms screamed, she whispered, "This was for my daughter," and let herself be pulled into space with them. She smiled as she drifted. She had taken them with her. Back on Cygnus 4, escaped Sarah, Elias, and Aiden ran through collapsing tunnels. Vault 0 began to shake, failing from all the damage. The ship above tried to get a lock. Elias was hurt. Aiden carried him. Sarah held the last memory of Earth against her chest. They reached the surface, and the shuttle descended. But one thing followed them as they boarded the shuttle. A council drone burst out of the ground. It fired once. Sarah fell. She hit the ramp, bleeding, gasping. Elias shot the drone. Aiden tore it apart, then turned to Sarah. She held out the memory drive. "Take it," he said. "Not without you." She smiled. "Then carry both." He lifted her, crying. Climax. The final chance. They escaped Cygnus 4. The shuttle jumped to light speed. Back to Saul's wrath. Back to the stars, with the real Echo core. Now they had to send it out, to every screen, every ship, every species. Before, the council destroyed it again. And this time, they wouldn't fail. Ending cliffhanger inside the drive. A heartbeat. The sound of a child's last breath. A name spoken in a whisper. Earth. Then a scream. Pure, terrifying, human. As the stars listened and began to tremble. Somewhere beyond the galactic core stars burned quiet. The council had gone dark. Entire fleets withdrawn. Systems sealed. Across thousands of planets, people whispered. They had all seen something. A scream. A memory. A truth. Earth was not forgotten. Earth had been erased. And now, Earth was screaming back, onboard Sol's wrath. The final decision, the surviving rebel fleet floated above the black nebula known as the Silent Veil. Inside Sol's wrath, the bridge was calm, too calm. Aiden Varn stared at the Echo Drive. "I remember the day they took me," he said. "I was 6. They told me I could save Earth." Elias, his brother, replied, "They lied, but now you can save something bigger." Sarah, resting after her injury, looked at them both. "We don't just send a memory this time," she said. "We send a message." "War?" Elias asked. "No," she whispered. Warning. The full Echo core is activated. The drive was loaded into the main transmitter, connected to ancient satellites that predated the council. One by one, those satellites came online, spanning thousands of light years, reaching the systems the council had locked off, and then they pressed send. The memory, the screen filled with fire, cities burning, children screaming, a planet crying out, Earth falling to silence. Then came voices. They told us to kneel. They erased our names. But we remembered. Then came joy. Lovers, dancing in gravity-free domes. Mothers singing in bunkers. Soldiers laughing after survival. Then came betrayal. Allies selling Earth for technology. The council removing memories. Children reprogrammed to forget they were human. And at the end, one heartbeat, one sentence. We are still here. Galaxy-wide reaction on the council homeworld of Lether Prime. Riots broke out. Dozens of species, even once loyal ones, refused to obey. Aliens watched the full transmission with tears. Even the coldest empires paused. They had forgotten what pain sounded like. Now they remembered. The council's final meeting. Only 5 members remained. Chancellor Razar stood at the center. "They have turned our lies into a flame," he growled. "We must respond." "Burn them again?" one asked. "No," whispered another. "If we strike now, we become monsters in every story." Razar hissed. "They already see us as monsters." "They saw the truth," said a voice behind him. Everyone turned. It was Mei Li, burned, injured, but alive. You made me betray my people, she said, raising a small sphere. Razar froze. Yes, she said. Your memory, core. She crushed it in her hand. The chamber lights flickered. All their crimes, deleted from their system, but not from history. She smiled. Now we are even. Back on Sol's wrath. The Return-Iden looked out the window. So, what now? Elias stepped beside him. We rebuild. Not Earth. Something better. A home? Aiden asked. Sarah walked up, holding a child from a refugee station they'd rescued. We build a future that remembers its past. A galactic wave begins in less than a week. 10 outer systems declared independence from Council control. Human memory artifacts became sacred. Old Earth songs played in alien bars. Poems from lost libraries were read on asteroid colonies. A new alliance, formed, the Echo Accord, led by humans, but open to any species that remembered grief. Final closure, the monument years passed. On a neutral moon, they built a monument. No statues. No names. Just a black wall of metal shining. When sunlight hit it, it revealed a single line. We remember. Aiden stood before it, now fully healed, but still scarred. Elias, older, tired, rested on a cane. Sarah, now commander of the Echo Accord's diplomatic arm, walked with her adopted child. They were home, not on Earth, but in a world where Earth was never forgotten. Final words, the echo never dies across the stars. In forgotten corners of space, children asked, who were the humans, and stories began again, of rage, of beauty, of betrayal, but mostly, of memory. Because in a galaxy built on silence, the loudest sound is the truth that refuses to die. And in that silence, one voice still echoed, we are not the past, we are the promise. We are humanity,